Have you ever worked somewhere and you felt constantly watched? Because some work environments will be obsessed with you. And it's usually because you have presence. They watch when you come in, when you leave, who you speak to, what you're wearing, your mood, your lunch breaks. Baby, even when you get up and go to the bathroom, you feel their eyes following you. Sometimes it's not even direct bullying. It's surveillance. You start feeling like you're on a reality show. People whispering, watching your interactions, tracking your movements. Suddenly everybody knows your business and your name, even when you barely talk to them. A lot of times it happens to people who naturally stand out without even trying. People with presence, confidence, charm, style, and a certain energy. Insecure people become fascinated with you, and some will secretly compare themselves to you. But let me give you some advice if this is happening to you. Stop over-explaining yourself. Don't let hyper-awareness make you awkward. Keep some parts of yourself private. Stay polite, but emotionally disciplined. Don't perform for acceptance. We don't shrink. And let people watch you while you stay focused. Because brilliance cannot be ignored. Keep shining.
Jealous coworkers don't attack your work first. They attack your reputation. First, they take something so small and turn it into a huge fucking issue. Then they start creating drama behind the scenes, getting people to pick sides, planting little comments, shifting how people see you. Once they've written the story about you, everything after that gets filtered through it. Now suddenly you're difficult, you're dramatic, you're unhinged. Meanwhile, they look calm, reasonable, and justified because they created the narrative first. And the craziest part, most of the time they were never threatened by your mistakes. They were threatened because people liked you. You did your job well. You got attention naturally. So instead of competing with your work, they attacked your fucking character. And you don't owe loyalty to people who decided you were guilty before they even cared to hear your side of the story. I know I can't be the only one that's experienced this at work.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So, I think as a society, we can all agree on one thing. Or maybe not all, let's say most of us, but I personally feel like we are grateful to have a job. We are grateful to have a source of income, but we don't enjoy working. Like, the whole thought of working is very dreadful to everyone, for the most part. Now, this can ultimately be the nature of your job, the commute or whatever it is that you do that makes you feel that way. Just the idea of going to work is very dreadful. But for me, let me just tell y'all, like, working for the public is such a dreadful thing to do because people are never and will never be satisfied. You know, people are allowed to have bad days and take it out on you, and you can't react to it.
You know that person at work that you see and they're like, "Good morning, how are you? How was your weekend?" That's the same person, if given the opportunity to do it anonymously, would be the first one to go and turn you in for whatever you do, big or small. There was a point in my career that I worked in an HR department as an HR manager, and we had this portal, right, that employees could anonymously report incidents or things that they thought went against company policy through the portal, and it was anonymous. And it was well intentioned, right, for those people who would like spot sexual harassment or discrimination. It was a way for them to not be afraid to report those incidents. And the portal would feed to an investigation department that would investigate the validity of the claim, right? And so it was useful for really important or serious incidents, but you'd be surprised at the number of people who thought they had friends or thought that, oh, this person would never. Shit. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. Good morning. How was your weekend? And then go right to that damn portal for minor things that didn't even break policy, just trying to stir up some shit, because they were stabbing you in the back when you thought they were your friend. Yeah. That's when I realized some of them people at the jobs be some dirty dogs. Dirty. Anyway, love you, bye.
Can we talk about something? Why is it that the employee that comes to work, does their job, mind their own business, always seems to bother somebody? I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've seen it happen over and over again. You have one employee that comes to work, does their job, treats everybody with respect, doesn't gossip, doesn't start drama. They just want to get through the day and go home. And somehow, that's the person somebody has a problem with. Meanwhile, the person that's always in somebody's business, always complaining and always talking about somebody, nobody seems to say anything to them. Please make that make sense. I used to think maybe I was doing something wrong. Maybe I needed to talk more. Maybe I needed to fit in more. Maybe I needed to explain myself more. But you know what I realized? Some people get uncomfortable when they can't figure you out. If you're not joining the gossip, they're wondering why. If you're not sharing your personal life, they start making up their own story. If you're not reacting to their little comments, they'll keep trying to get one out of you. And that's when I stopped taking things personally. Because I finally realized it was never about me. It was about the fact that I wasn't playing the same game that they were. Listen, you don't have to become someone you're not just to make somebody else feel comfortable. Go to work, do your job, be respectful, collect your paycheck, and go home. And if somebody has a problem with that, that's something they need to figure out, not you. If you've ever felt like people had a problem with you because you mind your own business, hit the follow button. I promise you're not the only one. Let me ask you, have you ever gone to work, stayed away from the drama, and somehow still became the topic in someone's conversation? I want to hear about it in the comments.
I need to vent about this because this is actually unhinged. There's a man that's at my job who is monitoring every single thing that I do. From Slack messages to every doc that I touch that's in the shared drive. Mentioning to me, oh, I noticed that for every day, there's an hour where you're logging off. Like, first of all, you're not my manager. Second of all, why are you worried about what I'm doing? What is your position? Worry about that. Honestly, it's gotten irritating to a point where I've just like record every interaction that we have with the Playbacks app, whether it's a meeting or a call, whatever ways I need to interact with this man, it is documented. I already mentioned this to the manager, and the manager has yet to check this man because I believe that they're buddy-buddy, and that's the only saving grace that's been given to him. Since clearly the manager isn't going to do anything, I'll go ahead and take it upon myself and I'll send it over to HR.
Have you ever noticed how toxic coworkers rarely have a problem with you one-on-one, but instead, they make sure that everyone hears about it first? Here's something I learned after years of working with all types of personalities. The people who truly want to solve a problem with you will come to you. Now, the people who want to create problems will go to everybody else. They'll tell your coworkers. They'll go gossip to the supervisor. They'll throw little comments and little hints. They'll make sure that your name keeps coming up while smiling in your face like nothing ever happened. But I know what you're asking, like why, right? Because they're trying to control a story before you even realize there's a story being told. That's why sometimes you walk into work and suddenly people are acting funny around you. Nobody said anything to your face yet. Somehow the energy changed. If that happens, listen, don't panic, right? Don't start explaining yourself to everyone. Don't start chasing people's opinions, because the people who are going to believe the gossip without knowing your story never wanted to know the truth anyway. They were just looking for somebody to agree with. Your job isn't to convince anyone that you're a good person. Your job is to stay consistent long enough that the truth speaks louder than the rumors. And trust me when I tell you that rumors need feeding and truth doesn't. If you experience workplace gossip, follow me, because we walk and talk about everything that happens behind the scene at work. Stop defending yourself to people who already made up their minds about you. You need to save that energy for the people who actually know your character.
You want to know how to outsmart a toxic coworker? Stop giving them what they came for. And most of the time, what they came for is a fucking reaction. They want you so fucking emotional enough that now your reaction becomes a conversation instead of what they actually did. So stop fucking feeding it. If they make some little passive aggressive comment in a meeting, look at them and say, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you repeat it? And then be quiet. Because now they either have to say the inappropriate thing again, out loud, in front of everybody, or suddenly explain what they really meant. Document everything. Not she was rude to me. Dates, times, what was said, who was there, what happened afterward. And if you have a verbal conversation about something important, follow it up in writing. Always. Just start typing. Just confirming what we discussed. Now there's a paper trail. Third, stop letting them isolate you. Build relationships with other people. Make your work visible. Speak up about what you're contributing. And if it gets to the point where you need to escalate it, don't walk into HR with a personal conflict. Walk in with a fucking pattern. Specific incidents, documentation, witnesses, and how the behavior is affecting the work. Because the goal isn't to out-tox a toxic person. The goal is to make their tactics stop working on you. Save this one because unfortunately somebody's going to need it Monday morning.
So this has happened to me my entire life. What I'm about to tell you has been done over and over and over again so many times that I'm like literally used to it. There's a lady at my job. She's younger than me, maybe in her 40s or something like that. From day one, I could tell she didn't like me. She speaks to the lady at the front desk. They cool. They cool with each other. She goes like this to me. She goes that micro hello, that like that to me. I know she doesn't like me. I understand. I'm totally okay with that. Yesterday she comes out of the one of the doors. She's talking to the lady at the front desk, because actually because of her, the lady at the front desk got hired, which is why it was such a shock when I first saw her, because the front desk lady, when I tell you that she looks like a messed up chicken, a plucked chicken, she looks like a hen. And there were people coming in looking beautiful that were bilingual, people that speak great, but they didn't hire them. This place is like, they will hire friends over the most qualified people ever. In New York, it's different because they hire people that look good depending on the job. But here, it's about who is better at at kissing the gluteus maximus. Okay, who's better at it? That's the people they hire. I was very surprised when they hired me, but then I look back and the people that I got hired by were actually from New York, and they live here now. So that's why I was hired, because I'm actually a New Yorker. And so they liked me because they saw like, oh, look, she's just like us. Those people are now gone. Okay, but she asked a question to the lady, but she's acting like she's speaking to both of us. I go to answer her. She completely ignores me. This lady has been doing that since I got there. She's not even significant to talk about. The reason I'm talking about it is because this has happened my entire life. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Because I was raised to be nice and cordial and respectful and speak to people when they speak back, I automatically, as a given, do that. And this is where I be praying and I be asking God, don't allow this person to try to like ignore me and humiliate me just because they don't like me. Could you please restrain me the next time they try to act like they speaking to me, but they actually speaking to somebody else, to try to play it off like they nice to me? Could you restrain me to not respond to them or to look the other direction, because they're not talking to me? This happens all the time. Not too much of a different subject, but almost in the same way. I remember anybody who's been church hurt. I'm talking to you now. I remember growing up in church. I remember we would, if you want prayer, come to the altar. La 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 la. Come to the altar if you want prayer, whatever the case is, right? Do you know that I would go to the altar, and the person, it was usually a man. It was always usually a man. The person praying over everybody, the person that was supposed to be praying over everybody would pray for everybody. Listen, I wouldn't lie about this. I would never lie about this. And then I heard it from another person that literally had the same thing happen to him. They would pray for the person right here. I'm here. They skip me and go to the next person. That has happened to me. Like, why are you altar calling if you have who you're gonna pick and choose who you're gonna pray for? What is that? And then I saw that it happened to another person that his name is John Ramirez. He's on YouTube. That happened to him when he was a kid, and because of it, he got into Santeria. Because of him being church hurt like that, he got into Santeria. So these people that come to your church and they act like they all holy or whatever, but they pick and choose who they're going to pray for. I don't know what kind of spirit that is inside of them, but it's not right. That has happened to me a lot of times. But I also can say that God has done things for me, and God has given me things that other people don't get. So this is why I don't have no beef with God, because I literally just like, I understand. When you are a chosen person, when you are a person that is set aside, and I know I'm set aside because the things that have happened to me are not the things that continuously happen. Like, my sisters have never dealt with the stuff that I deal with. Never in their life. Okay? So I know I'm chosen. It would have sent somebody to a crazy house, the stuff that has happened to me. And I literally just be like, listen, one of my sisters, a guy broke up with her, and she lost her mind. She wanted to kill herself. I have been domestically abused. And I fought back. Cause I was like 350 pounds or something like that. I was gonna use my weight to do what I need to do. That doesn't happen to me no more. I can see the signs now. You know, I can tell when someone is violent. Even if they joke around like, oh, I should punch you in your face. That kind of person will hit you. If you've never understood. Oh, I should do this to you. Oh, okay, so let me leave you alone. Anybody who plays like that is, you already know they're going to hit you. So you should know better. Or anybody who hates their mom. If a man really hates their mom, guess what? They're going to hate you too. Because you're a female. You're a woman. So women, all you women are the same. I remember dating this guy, and one time we were having like a little bit of wine, and homeboy was like, you just like my mother are drunk. I was like, what? Okay. So I left him alone real fast. Yeah. But I just be praying. I be saying, God, please don't let me fall into that trap, because really when they speaking, going back to the lady at my job, she's talking to her. She's not talking to me. She doesn't like me. Can you actually help me not to respond? Because I'm literally and genuinely a very good, like, I like to be nice and respectful. That's my nature. So you got these people acting like they like you because the other person is there. When y'all alone, she don't even look at me. The lady can't stand me. And I understand. She looks also like a chicken.
You can't be human. God forbid your job is at risk. And that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, realistically, that's not fair. I don't care what it is I don't care if you work in a DMV. I don't care if you work in a post office. I don't care if you a bus operator like me. Again, people are going to be coming in with all different types of moves, all different types of problems. And you always have to be courteous. You always have to be nice. You always have to be kind. And it still may not be enough. And you know what that means? That means that you are constantly pretending. You are drained because every day you are spending 8 to 12 hours of your life constantly pretending, while these people are just siphoning all the energy from out of you. So I'm here to tell you, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to speak from my point of view, and I'm here to speak for all of you, right? Please understand that you are not lazy. I don't care what society is telling you. You are not lazy for being overwhelmed. You are not lazy for no longer wanting to work anymore. You are not. You know what I mean? You are not lazy for not wanting to make other people's problems your own, when you have your own fucking problems as it is that you can't even tackle because you're always at work. You always being at work means that you probably can't spend enough time with your kids. You probably can't spend enough time with your spouse. You might be missing, dance recitals. You might be missing, first dates or whatever the situation. You might be missing a whole bunch of important moments of your child's life because you have to be at work. That's not the way things supposed to be. This pressure coming from your spouse, and it's especially if you are a man. You got to pay all the bills. You got to get the bills paid. But it's a problem that you're not home enough. You can't have it both ways. And it makes you feel guilty that you feel this way about your job, because there's hundreds and thousands and maybe even millions of people out there who are out of a job. There's hundreds and thousands of people, or maybe even millions, that are currently looking for a job. So you want to sound grateful. You don't want to sound like you're an ingrate because you're complaining about your job. But you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. I know a close friend of mine, who recently told me that she quit her job, because it was very stressful. And she said, although she suspected that she would be more stressed, she said she couldn't have been any more wrong about assuming that. She said she's been feeling so relieved to not go in and deal with the bullshit that she had been dealing with every day. You know what I'm saying? And she just been figuring out, she just been getting by, but she's not stressed out from the job anymore. Do you know how poor of a job you have to be for someone to quit and not even have a backup plan? Like, come on now. Yes, we can talk about these jobs. And, a job is one thing, but, the people is what make the jobs. And the people is what make the jobs unbearable. And that goes for anything that you do. If you're a fast food worker, again, like I said, if you work for the public, like the post office, you work for, what I'm saying, you're a bus operator, you do security, whatever it is, when it is that you have to deal with people make your job unbearable.
Why do some coworkers seem threatened by the quiet employees? It's not because you're quiet, it's because they can't figure you out. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is assuming that being quiet means you're weak, and it doesn't. Some of the strongest people in the workplace are the ones that don't feel the need to announce everything to everyone. They come in, they do their job, they stay out of the damn drama, and then they go home. But for someone who thrives on gossip, tension, and controlling other people, your silence, well, it can make them a little bit uncomfortable. But let me tell you why. Because they can't predict you. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know who you're talking to. They don't know if you've noticed what the hell they're doing. So what do? They start creating stories about you. Now you're stuck up. Now he thinks he's better than anybody. Or they're just antisocial. No, you are just protecting your peace. Please remember this. The people who are comfortable with themselves do not feel threatened by someone just because they're quiet. The people who continue to try to pull you into the drama are usually comfortable with you staying out of it. So don't let other people convince you that you have to be louder just to make other people feel comfortable. Sometimes your peace speaks louder than your words ever could. If you're the quiet one at work, follow me because I promise you,